Assessor Association class, and it's the third one. And so one more class next year, and he will be a certified appraiser, which is good. Looks good on our evaluation, and it just gives us a lot more credibility. And so then we'll have two, because of course Nick is certified. So we were real pleased that Greg did pass that.
Oh, that's great.
So I don't have, I haven't gotten the answers back yet, because Bill took his first one, and Ruben went to a mapping one, and we still haven't gotten the results back from them. They were in different classes, so it's just been almost a month. So hopefully we'll know that soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Everything else is going good. We're really waiting now just to get the tax rates from EFA, because as soon as we can get that, it'll take us the 3 days, to get everybody to agree to those at the school districts and soil conservation, make sure that they all agree with the numbers, and then to have a meeting with you all to ratify the mill rate. And then we'll be able to get the tax rolls sent out to Triadic to print up the tax bills, so that'll give us time to catch any errors or anything and work on some things before mailing out November 1st. We're really, really in good shape with that, and I think definitely, I'm hoping by the 3rd week of September we'll have it to Triadic, and that'll give them time to do some checking and then get the printing done. So,
excellent.
So that's where we are right now.
Okay, thanks so much, Betty.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else with an update? Valerie?
Good evening, Madam Chair and County Manager. I just wanted to let you know, last Friday we had Soledad Martinez. She's the program manager for the home visiting, come to our office and see what we're doing here. And she also brought a data entry person to help us with our database for home visiting. And she was so impressed and so happy that we're in this environment. She said it would have a wonderful opportunity for us. So I just wanted to share that.
Oh, that's good. Wonderful.
Hey, Lonnie.
Anyone else with an update?
I'm still here.
Okay. Great. Okay, it looks like we have completed updates. Did you have anything in there? Or are you coming back, Tracy? I'm sorry.
Well, I was so excited about my big news that I forgot other things.
Oh, okay. Welcome back.
Thank you. You're aware that last Saturday was Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, the Family Fun Day, and it was more successful than we could have imagined it would be. There were probably about 250 people that came throughout the day. Sheriff White and Junior Deputy White rode in on horseback and presented the colors. We had an accordionist play the national anthem. We had music all day, and it was a wonderful opportunity to pay tribute to all of our law enforcement officers, and I appreciate everyone who came out for that. And I'm mentioning it because I don't believe there's another commission meeting before this, but on September 11th, the Stephen Sillers Tunnel to Towers 5K will be held in Albuquerque, and it's a tribute to all of those who lost their lives in these events of September 11th, 2001, and in recognition of the 10th anniversary. As far as I know at this point, it will be myself and Kathy Reyes, and more than likely Donna doesn't know yet, but she'll probably be with us, and we'll be participating in the 5K. And I will be walking in honor of Dominic Smith, because it's also in honor of other law enforcement. And we would invite anyone in the county to join us that day to participate. It's just our way of showing our appreciation once again.
That's wonderful. Thank you for representing the county.
Thank you.
Okay, it doesn't look like we have any. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Try not to confuse me. Madam Chair, Commissioners, County Manager, I have the August birthdays and anniversaries. August birthdays, Diana Lopez in the Treasurer's Office, Patricia Ruiz in QCPO Office, Linda Jaramillo, the County Deputy Clerk, Valerie Arevalo, Gino Jones, Christopher Garcia Jr. is the Sheriff Deputy, Javier Sanchez, our Emergency Manager, Lorenzo Garley, birthdays, and Levi Swartz all have birthdays in the August. In the month of August, goodness, excuse me. And our August anniversaries, Christine Amlon has been here 9 years. Jalissa Tucker has been here for 8 years. They're both dispatchers. Joel Watson is a sheriff deputy. He's been here for 7 years. Sylvia Chavez is the admin assistant in the clerk's office. She's been here for 6 years. Sue Phillips and Donna Zamora both started in August, and they work in the sheriff's department as part-time records clerks. Hannah Modling has been here for 4 years. She's in our office, in the manager's office. Kent Ballard is a sheriff deputy. He's been here for 4 years. Ronald Fulfer has been here for 4 years. He is also a sheriff deputy. Junior Plant has been here for 3 years, and he is fixing to retire. So I believe at the end of this month he should be leaving us again. Joseph Sanchez is in the road department. He's an equipment operator. He's been here for 2 years. So
Wonderful. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to all of those people. We appreciate them. Okay. So now we will now move to item number 3, Partnership for a Healthy Torrance County Voting Membership Roster.
Madam Chair, I don't see Pat. Was somebody else going to present this for her, or?
I can. It's just every year that the commission has to approve the voting membership roster for the Partnership for Healthy Torrance County. Those that the commission are being asked to appoint at this time are Trish Dano, Joe Honorheim, Cynthia Fonder, Angela Coburn, Angelique Wagnor, Audrey Rodriguez, Linda Garland, Debbie Ortiz, Gail Falconer, Joseph Keith, Karen Burrow, Kenneth Jack McKee, Lynn Perlman, Maureen Harrison, Martin Baker, Michael Stogner, Rhoda Godold, and Tina Gates Ortega.
Okay, thank you. I will make a motion to approve the roster as submitted. Is there a second?
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes, none opposed. We will now go to the amendment to the DB grant. Valerie Reblo.
Excuse me, Valerie Barella. Madam Chair and Commissioners, it's just a change in the scope. It's not a change, it's an addition to the scope of work in paragraph 11 and 12. And it just helps, it makes it just comply with the Violence Against Women Act. So I'm standing for any questions. I just need your approval.
Can you briefly summarize the act that's being referred to?
Well, basically what this is for is we have to be very careful with confidentiality issues, and that was not actually in our original agreement. So they've added it at the end in 11 and 12. We really can't give out any identifying information unless the clients will give us written consent, or if we have a court order. Not even a subpoena are we allowed to give that information about our clients. So they just want it to be in our agreement.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
Yes, Annette?
Before we move forward, I believe we have to officially table number 1.
Okay. I will make a motion to table item number 1. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Madam Chair, can I just make one clarification? I was asked to table this until the evening meeting in September, so I think if we specify that in the motion, then it doesn't have to be on the next agenda.
Okay, great. So we'll make sure that this is postponed or tabled until the evening meeting in September. So it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 1 has been formally tabled with no opposition. We'll now go to item number 5, New Mexico Environment Department Solid Waste Bureau project. Dan?
This is the tire grant that we've been working on since the fall of last year between solid waste and code enforcement, and we've identified 11 sites that this was going to clean up with another one in Bernalillo County. The reason that that the Bernalillo County site originally was on there was because solid waste it started this grant. It was first awarded to them, and then they found out because of some technical aspects that they couldn't take it. So it was passed over to the county, and we've been working on it to get it turned over into our name, and we're pretty close to that right now. Once if you folks agree on it for us, and we'll be hopefully signing the contract.
Okay, thank you. We're now at the table for questions. Okay, seeing none, I'd like to make a motion for approval contingent upon actually just delegating this to the manager's office. And what I would like to propose that we do is have Joy make sure that we go ahead and remove that project if she can. If she's not able to, then give her the authority to go ahead and proceed so that we don't lose the whole grant based on that.
I've spoken to Tony Dugan at New Mexico Environment Department. We can't take the Bernalillo County site off. Basically lose the grant because of the way this has been written up. I spoke to her last week, and as I recall, I spoke to Adolfo today, and he's spoken to Brandon about what he thought we could do on this. And Mr. Ellis is also here to maybe, if you have any questions of him, how this has been done in the past.
Okay, we're now at the table for questions. It doesn't seem like that's going to be an option. So Commissioner Freyburger, we'll start with you, and we'll get your feedback on that.
I believe that the grant is needed on it. I'm a little bit hesitant, but if we cannot get out of it with Bernalillo County, I believe that we should go ahead and move forward with it.
Okay, thank you.
Could I make I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes.
We're really not collaborating with Bernalillo County. They're going to manage their own site. They're going to take care of everything. What we're going to be doing is paying solid waste for the recycling of the tires. So it's going to be a bill directly to solid waste, and we're not going to be passing any money over to Bernalillo County.
Can you tell us the amount of money that will be staying in Torrance County that's in this grant, and the amount that will be paid out to Bernalillo County?
I can give you a round number right now, or if you want to wait, I can get you the whole thing. It's about $105,000 and some change that stays with us, and $3,500, $3,600 that would be paying towards the cleanup in Bernalillo County.
I believe it's 33.
33? Could be. The total amount is $108,629.
So it's pretty obvious that the majority of the funding would stay within our county.
Absolutely.
Okay. Commissioner Tapia, do you have any further questions?
I don't have a problem with that, Madam Chair.
I do not either.
Okay. Well, I will then amend my motion to move to approve the New Mexico Environment Department Solid Waste Bureau project as it is written, since the majority of the money does come to Torrance County, and I'm sure that Bernalillo County will hopefully collaborate with us in the future if needed. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Madam Chair, if I may just interject for clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
It's $105,400 to be spent on the abatement of Torrance County sites and $32.29 on one or more Bernalillo County sites. So it's less than 3%.
Okay. Just a quick question. I know that we do have the approval that we need to move forward on this, but could we possibly build the county to see if they would want to reimburse us, or is this just an all or nothing based on that $3,000? We could pose the question.
That site was written into the application, so I think that it's just physically the money has to flow through us.
Okay. All right. So it's been moved and seconded. Did we take a final vote? Mm-hmm. Okay. So all were in favor and none were in opposition. So we'll now move forward to item number 6, amendment number 2 to the New Mexico Recycling Grant. Who will be presenting that this evening? Would that be you, Mr. Ellis?
Amendment number 2 to the New Mexico Recycling Grant. Joseph Ellis, manager of the Estancia Valley Solid Waste Authority, Madam Chair, and Commissioners and County Manager. You have caught me unawares.
Well, we can read what we have into the record, and then if you would like to comment on it.
Okay.
Would you like to do that, Joy? Just kind of summarize it, please.
Yes, ma'am. Amendment number 2 to the recycling grant between the New Mexico Recycling Coalition and Torrance County is basically amending the agreement to extend the deadline for time. The original deadline for time, I believe, was September 30th, and that deadline has been extended to December 15th to allow for all of the equipment to get in and the building to be complete. And it changes the performance measures for the tasks, which is just simple reporting requirements that are done between Joseph and our finance office. So that's the extent of the amendment, Madam Chair. It doesn't change the amount of the grant, just changes the deadline to expend the funds.
Okay, thank you so much. We're now at the table for questions. Are there any questions?
I have none.
Commissioner? Okay, thank you. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved to approve the amendment number 2 to the New Mexico Recycling Grant, and I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. There are none in opposition. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, if I could,
Yes.
we are planning a grand opening of the recycling center out at the landfill for October 28th. Representative Heinrich is going to be in attendance. We'll have a formal ribbon cutting out there, and we'll be baling recyclables, so everybody can come see how it all works.
Great. Can you repeat the date on that, please?
October 28th.
October
I
28th.
do not have a time yet, but we'll be keeping you informed.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so we will now go to County Manager requests and reports, and we are at item number 7 for an update.
Madam Chair, I don't have a written report for you unless you guys have any questions for me.
I don't have any at this time.
I don't have any.
Commissioner Freyburger, do you have any questions of the manager's office?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. We will now go to item number 8, Resolution 2011-31, mileage and per diem.
Madam Chair, members, a couple of meetings ago, we started discussing some inconsistencies in the way our mileage and per diem has been paid to employees for county travel in the past. And as per the auditor, we decided to develop a per diem mileage and out-of-county travel policy. If you guys have read through this, it basically mirrors what the DFA rule and the statutes read for travel. It is kind of a culmination of a lot of different issues that other counties have come up with, as well as problems that the auditors have seen while working on the county's audit. One issue that we did discuss was to what kind of a radius we would pay overnight per diem. I stuck 40 miles in here, if you can see it's highlighted in yellow, but that is up to commission discretion, so that can be reduced, it can be increased, however the commission would like. So I need some direction on that. The out-of-state travel overnight rates and the partial per diem rates are set out in the policy. Actual expenditures and reimbursements are spelled out in the policy. Mileage is as well. There's another highlighted issue in here. We currently pay 32 cents per mile, and I would really like to see you guys consider increasing that, because I think the state will allow 52 cents per mile, but we certainly don't have to go that high, but 32 cents is still not very much to pay for mileage for using your personal vehicle. So, but that is at commission discretion as well. So that is the policy, and those are the things I would like to discuss, the details with you guys, so we could get some direction on that. There are also some forms are a little bit different, the travel forms. We did create a new actual reimbursement form that has to be signed by my office prior to the travel, and we came up with a new county travel reimbursement form. That's the really fancy, colorful one. It is an Excel spreadsheet with some really complicated formulas in there, but if you just fill it out on the computer, it calculates everything for you. It's partial day per diem and I think the employees will get a lot more comfortable. It's very user-friendly. And then there's an in-county mileage request that can be used, and that would be, for example, if you commissioners were traveling to meetings within the county or visiting sites, you would be able to put your mileage down on this in-county travel form. So it's certainly not for employees to get from home base to work, but for work-related schedules.
Okay, thank you. It looks very well written and very thorough. Has it been reviewed by council?
Yes.
It has? Okay. So we're now at the table. Why don't we go and discuss the first issue that was brought to our attention in regards to the 40-mile radius. So we're at the table to discuss that, and then we can move forward after we go through each issue. And we'll begin with Commissioner Freyburger. What is your take on the 40-mile radius?
I think the 40 mile is reasonable to it. I know the states is a little bit lower than that, but for us to go anywhere, I mean, 40 miles nowadays is a drive back and forth. And I'm comfortable with the 40 miles.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Tatia?
Well, I don't know, I would like to see it be bumped up to 60, just because it's, I mean, we have to look at our costs and our budget, and the money that we're putting out. And granted, if you're going to travel more than 60 miles, you should be compensated, but 40, I don't know. But that's just my thought.
Okay, so my question then would be, could you give me an example of what 40 miles would be? Like, what is it to Albuquerque and back? That's way more than 40, so...
And this is based on a one-way. So Moriarty to Albuquerque, I think, is 45 miles. So Albuquerque would certainly be included. But there's also a section in this policy that requires explanation if you are traveling, because this was a question that came up with this year's audit, with the fiscal year 2011 audit. If say I went to Albuquerque for a training, a 2-day training, and I did take per diem, but another time he pulled one of my per diem requests and I drove to Albuquerque to pick something up and I didn't take per diem, they want that explained. That's an inconsistency in the auditor's world. So there is a section on the reimbursement form that we did for notes, and it basically reads, if you're traveling within the 40-mile radius and are requesting per diem, an explanation must be noted. Likewise, if you're traveling outside and not requesting per diem, an explanation must be noted. And the auditor said that would satisfy their requirements. So it can be accepted, that 40 miles or 60 miles or whatever it's set up by the commission. It just has to be explained. So.
Okay. Well, I certainly would like to take into consideration both commissioners' take on this issue and see if maybe we could compromise and maybe move it to 50 to where it's kind of in between where you both are comfortable. Would you both be satisfied with that?
That's fine.
Commissioner Freyburger? Okay. So why don't we make that change to 50? And that'll be meeting right there in the middle. So the next issue that's highlighted would then be the 32 cents per mile. I guess as per statute, or is it DFA, we can go up to 52 cents per mile. So again, we'll begin with Commissioner Freyburger, and you can kind of tell us where you stand on that, please.
I think 32 cents is relatively low, considering the price of gas now. And if you're looking at a vehicle that a pickup or something that's getting 10 miles to the gallon, you're not going to even receive your actual expense back. I think that it could be up. I'm not real sure what we could up it to, except maybe, what was the suggestion in the...
It was suggested that we could go to 52 cents per mile.
Madam Chair, I would not recommend going to 52.
You would not.
That's a huge jump. If you guys are looking for a recommendation, I would say somewhere around the 39-40 cent range.
Well, 45 cents, I believe if you're looking at $45 for 100 miles, I believe that's adequate compensation.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Freyburger. We will now be at the table with Commissioner Tapia for her comments on this issue.
Well, I was going to say, since we're all meeting in the middle, let's do 42, but since Commissioner Freyburger said 45, I'll go with 45.
Okay. All right, well, I'm certainly comfortable with that, so it seems that we have consensus to go up to 45 cents per mile. Also highlighted is the Rand McNally map. I don't have an issue with using that as our tool for measuring that. Was there anything else, Troy, that you'd like us to discuss?
No, ma'am, unless you guys have questions about the other areas or body of this policy.
Okay, is there any, is this listed for approval as the resolution is written? So is there any public comment or any comment from any elected officials or staff or department heads on this issue? Okay, seeing no public comment, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2011-31 mileage and per diem. I'd like to thank the manager's office for writing it so well. Is there a second?
Second motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All have rolled in favor. There are none in opposition. It is now passed. We will now go to item number 9, contract for cell service with T-Mobile. Evaluate and consider. Annette?
Dave Beeler, he is our regional representative that they've assigned to our account rather than dealing with the other two on a little bit lower level. And he has sent this little note he's asked me to read to you. Commissioners, I know I wasn't part of the team that sold your account, but I'm here now to support and help manage your account in every way. We do value your business and want only the best service and equipment for your needs. We shipped out different equipment and saw improvement with some of the users. So the next step would be to order and replace equipment that works for you. So if you do stay with us, that will be our next action item. Please consider all of the benefits T-Mobile brings, such as value, products, service, and network in your decision. I will understand if some or all of your users need to make a change. So, and that's sincerely from Dave Beeler. I experienced a bit of a change with the new phone that they sent. I know the commissioner has expressed that she did not have any change with her service. We sent one of the test phones with a sheriff deputy, and he said it didn't do any different. The phone that they sent didn't show any difference between the last phone that they sent. And I did send it with the road guys, and they did not see any difference either. So they are still willing to send different phones to try, or I know the sheriff said he likes the phone, but the service is still spotty and has issues. So I did get the BlackBerry situation taken care of with Linda Kaiser, the county clerk, and she's happy and content. So we're kind of still in the middle. As far as that goes. So I did ask the road department to see what they have budgeted for their road guys to carry the phones. They did not budget for the data service plan to carry the upgraded phone, but we can always work it out. Okay, it's completely in your hands.
Okay, thank you, Annette. We're now at the table. Again, we'll begin with Commissioner Freyburger. What is your take on this issue, sir?
Is T-Mobile saying that they are still working, maybe looking at booster towers or something to give us better service?
They did, yes, sir. They called and said, even in Bahia, that they would be willing to put the towers, yes, if we choose to stay with them.
Well, you know, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of, if we're saying that we'll stay with them, or do you think that they will actually fulfill their promise that they will put the booster towers in?
I believe they would, yes.
I will give them 30 days to show us some type of progress, or tell them that we need to have a meeting and let them explain an action plan.
Okay, thank you.
That's my view on it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Tapia?
We're saving a significant amount of money with it, correct?
As it was proposed, yes. If we look at getting more expensive phones with the data plan, then we're kind of back where we started.
well, I mean, coverage is the issue. I mean, having a nicer phone isn't an issue. Being able to make the call is going to be the issue. They can provide that service, and we've already gone this far with them. So everybody's already waited. Well, I don't know. I don't have the phone, so if you're willing to wait, and whoever else has the phones, if they're willing to give it, like Lonnie said, an extra 30 days and give them an opportunity to put towers up or whatever, then I'm okay with that. But if you're tired and you're done and you just want to move forward, then that's what you need to do.
Okay, my opinion on this matter is I do have a county-issued cell phone. The service where I live is not acceptable in my opinion. Again, I live in the mountain community, so I'm pretty much accustomed to knowing that, you know, in the mountains you're not always going to have service. However, I'm going to be getting my own service, so it's not going to really affect me. However, I don't want the staff that does have a county-issued phone to experience a time of no service, especially like Martine. He works in the mountain community all of the time. That's his district, and when calls aren't going through, he could be perceived as not wanting to respond to the constituents, not wanting to, you know, if you're not in the service area, you don't even get it on your missed call log unless they actually leave you a message. So I would really like to not wait the additional 30 days. I would prefer that either we rebid it and give everyone an opportunity to bid on it again, and at that time, depending on who would be able to meet the bid requirements, actually prove that we would be able to have the service that we need, and also a good price drop as well. But I just think it's so important, the people that do carry phones, sheriff's department, the road department, just everyone needs a good provider. So that's kind of where I stand. I would like us to take some type of different action unless T-Mobile is willing to port the numbers back to Plateau until they are able, within 30 days, to provide the service that we need.
My understanding, some of the deputies have been putting their SIM cards in some old phones, and I think the service is better, is what I'm hearing, excuse me, from Michelle. But T-Mobile's asking that we get them the model numbers of the phones that are working and the service is better, so that they can try shipping them to us also. So we're trying, it's just, here we are.
And then, are they fulfilling their obligation of the contract?
As far
Did we
as
ask for good service?
As far as our proposal is concerned, no. I mean, the coverage area, but it's, what we're running into is people who carry T-Mobile personally have service. We don't. So we're still in that, they still believe it to be the phones.
I told them to step up to the plate. They knew what the proposal was. They proposed that they would fulfill it. And if they can't step up to the plate, but Madam Chair, I would say let's go out for bid and make sure that we adhere, the contractors adhere to what we want. They're servicing us, we're not servicing them.
We do have two of the staff that have phones are in the audience. The sheriff. Tracy, do you have one?
No, ma'am.
Steve, do you have one?
No, I use my own. Dan has one.
And what is your opinion on DAM service? Is it spotty? Is it
Spotty, very spotty.
I mean, we can rebid it, and I know that, you know, if I was in the manager's office, I might have the thought that, okay, we're going to rebid it, and we're going to be at the exact same place because T-Mobile is going to always get where AT&T gets or where Plateau gets or Verizon or Sprint. Everybody provides different coverage, but I think that we need to figure out who provides the best coverage. So, Sheriff White?
Is there a way, if you do go back to proposal, to get a sample phone from each network that either the sheriff's department, the road department, we could all take for a day or two and see what kind of coverage that they actually provide, and that's what we're hands on. That we could give feedback to you saying, you know, this phone works a lot better than a T-Mobile, or you know, T-Mobile is the best, or or AT&T is,
Okay.
somewhat in the proposal.
Thank you, Sheriff. Betty, did you have anything you want to say on this?
I just kind of wanted to put in a thought. Of course, I used to work at the phone company, and I worked for 10 years for US West, which became Verizon. And one of the things is, and you mentioned it, Madam Chairman, that you aren't going to have there's no perfect system out there. They all offer different things, and they all have different coverage areas. And I find even as long as I've been away from it, it's still issues in the same places, even in Albuquerque, and there's still issues with all of them. So my biggest concern was I didn't realize, because coming from working with large accounts like Intel, providing service for them when I was working there, and there was a person, and I know the world's changed since then, because that was back in the 90s, so the world's changed since then, but someone brought the phones to you. Someone went through and they had training classes with everybody and taught you how to use the phones, and they were there and they watched us and we followed them around, and we were there for 2 or 3 days or a week or whatever, trying to make sure that everything was working, and if somebody had a problem, they could come in because a certain rep was sitting there, and I could, what happened, what was wrong, let's see if the programming is right or wrong. Good old-fashioned customer service. And I was really surprised that they shipped the phones to us and we really didn't have a face-to-face contact. And so that's one thing that the sheriff says that I think would be a really good idea. Say, hey, we need to try these out. And if you want to come out and go with us, if you don't want us to just have the phones, I think that's something that should be considered. The other thing was there was an article in the newspaper the other day, and I have not been hearing anything. AT&T is trying to buy out T-Mobile. I'm thinking that's good, but then on the other hand, after I read that the other day, it was a letter saying that we need the Attorney General to get involved, because several states, the Attorney Generals have already filed suit against, I guess, AT&T over this buyout because they felt that they were not doing it legitimately and there was some underhandedness and there was some problems. I did not read the whole article in the Journal, and it was written to say our Attorney General needs to get involved in that too. I don't know when that merger is supposed to happen. The big thing was the rural areas of the United States are the ones that get left out. I was going to use another word, but I'm not going to. It was even going to be a nice word, but I still didn't know how it would sound. So that with that, and that's the thing too about a contract and the length of the contract and what they provide for us, because it indicated that they were going to be, that the rural areas would suffer, there would be less competition, and the prices would go up, because again, still, rural areas are not profitable to cell phone companies. And the cost of a tower, and that's always been, from 1990, whenever I became in the cellular part of the business, it was always the profitability that if you put a cell tower out in the middle of Torrance County, how many accounts are you going to have to get your money back on that cell tower because of the cost of cell towers? And we know from Dorothy how expensive, how much money they're making off of T-Mobile, I think, using the cell tower over at Dispatch. And I don't really have an answer. I just wanted to bring those thoughts up. And I don't know. I don't know if there is a good answer. And again, I think maybe not put, I don't know if we could do, I don't know if as a government entity, if we could go and say, hey, we're reconsidering. Can we use your phones, Verizon? Can we use your phones? Can we use your phones and see how they are, and then put it back out to bid, or if that would have to be part of the bid process? That part of it I don't understand. But at least, if nothing else, that would give everybody a peace of mind and say, like the sheriff did say, maybe T-Mobile is our best bet. But I think we should demand somebody to be here in person.
Thank you, Betty. Okay, this may be some feedback from George, and then I'd like to ask Joy what she would recommend, and then we go to council for their opinion as well. So go ahead, George.
I was just going to say on the AT&T service, my husband works for FDIC, and he's doing data and telephone. And we've got a metal roof on our house, and you know where we're living. We're in the same kind of zone you are, And he doesn't miss a lick up there anywhere except for when he comes through the canyon. That's the only time his service drops out here. So that's the federal government, that's using that service. So I don't know if that has any difference or not. But they do a lot of security things with their setup as well. And his works great. It doesn't miss a lick. But it's not the fancy phones. It's not the texty models. It's more of a plain Jane standardized phone. And that may be part of the entire issue. If y'all are trying to do all the data and so forth instead of straight up phone, that could be the entire issue. The newer phones, I just changed back over and I went back to Plateau. I had Verizon, and they just flat don't work out here. I see people stop. I see them on the side of the road, and I ask them, are you having trouble? No, I just have T-Mobile, and this is the only place I got signal. So I don't know if it's the newer phones and all the advanced technology. They talk the 2, 3G, 3, 4G coverage area. When I just changed over phones, I'm hearing it's available, but not out here. 2G's the max is what I'm hearing. So some of the services that T-Mobile can provide beyond this area probably are, rocking, but a lot of it just flat isn't going to work out here because the technology's not here. Just like Betty's saying, go back to tower shares and stuff.
Well, I think too, when we were going through the bid process, I think that's what Stephen Birdwell was trying to tell us. Was that even though you're going with these bigger companies, you're still not going to have the service that we're looking for. And I don't know, at that time, I didn't comprehend what he was trying to say, but that he could provide what service we were needing, even though it was a little bit more money, or even, I wasn't just a little bit, it was quite a bit more money. But I think that's what he was trying to tell us, was it doesn't matter, you can be saving money, but you're still not going to have service because of the towers not being up there. So.
And something that has come to light between the time that the proposal was agreed upon and now is, I guess there was an agreement between T-Mobile and Plateau, and that agreement is no longer in existence. So where we were roaming and pinging off of the Plateau towers, they no longer are doing that. So that's also a difference.
Okay. Joy, do you have any comment on this?
I don't know. It frustrates me because I have a fancy 4G phone and T-Mobile service, and I have service everywhere. My phone works, but so I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if it's free if it doesn't work. But we were talking about we went with the lowest bidder that gave us the most bang for our buck at the time. So I don't. Whatever you guys want to do, it doesn't make any difference to me. My phone works. I use my own phone. So.
I know the prison uses AT&T, the school uses Plateau, so, I tried to compare, ask different people, what do you use, George?
I had one more question, and I didn't really hear it answered when y'all were going through the original process to make the move. With the T-Mobile, are they paying gross receipts back into the county coffers with the billings that the county's paying? Is there any gross receipts revenue generated? I mean, to me, that's a finite point, but if like we have a local business that can provide that service, and if they are, paying taxes into the coffer, that ought to be part of the consideration point as well, because you're supporting a local business, even though they may be more, they're giving back, for you working with them. So I'd never heard, or I didn't catch, that as part of the discussion originally either.
Okay. I don't have that answer. Is there somebody that has that answer?
Neither do Plateau.
Okay.
They're not local.
Okay.
But they're New Mexico based though.
Brandon, do you have thoughts on this? As far as the legality of if we were to rebid, can we get out of the contract? Could we put together an RFP that is so specific that we would even get some response?
Well, I don't know what kind of response you might get, but this RFP to which you accepted T-Mobile, I think, intended to deal with it. If I remember, I think it said you had to have 3 bars countywide, and their proposal said that they would meet that. It sounds like you don't have that. So one possible option might be to, get the contract back out and see if we could say you're agreed to the agreement that you provided to us, and essentially demand that they fix it, as opposed to say, well, we're not going to keep doing business with you. There may be an option to force them to do it, or to at least try to. As far as getting out, I think by not providing you the service that they offered, they're in breach. So I think you could get out, and if they wanted to sue you, they obviously could, but we feel pretty comfortable defending that case if need be.
Okay. All right, so we now have, again, all of our opinions on the table. We took public comment and comment from county employees and elected officials and the manager's office. So I think that we need to make a decision. And Commissioner Freyburger, would you still like to wait the 30 days and contact them and say they are in breach of their contract? Commissioner Tapia as well. Is that kind of where you guys would like to start, or how shall we proceed collectively?
I would like to take a firm stand and just tell them they have 30 days to meet everything in the proposal, and if not, then they are in breach.
Commissioner Tapia?
I think that's the best way to move forward. And then if there's still, if there's nothing done, and I mean, if they're just saying that it's the phones, then maybe we need to go downgrade and just go back to the plain Jane phones.
Well, the initial phones that they sent were the plain Jane.
And those didn't work either.
Don't work for the deputies. But I was just speaking to Michelle. She has T-Mobile, and her phone works great. So I got the model number off of this phone. I got another model number today from somebody else. And I'll call them tomorrow, and they can get me those phones, or come out and bring them, something.
Well, I like Betty. I would agree that I think that we need to have a representative on site that is going to stay on site until it's corrected. I know Plateau had a rep that had came to a commission meeting in the past, and I would like to request that Martine's phone or any other phone that's not currently having any bars at all that say SOS be ported back to Plateau until they can provide some kind of service. Or, the option that you gave me on the wireless, if in the meantime there'd be some kind of mobile router that he could carry in his vehicle until, I just want him and everyone else that has a phone is to have the ability to make a call. So, who would like to make that in the form of a motion? Commissioner Freyburger, would you like to do that?
So moved.
That's good. How do you like that one, Michelle?
It would be better, to be honest, if one of you ladies made the motion, because I'm not sure how much I'm going to pick up.
Okay. I move then that we inform T-Mobile in writing through council that they are in breach of their contract, and we would like to give them 30 days to correct the problem. We'd also like to request that a rep be on site in order to correct the problem. And at the end of those 30 days, if we do not have this resolved, that we would like to rebid our phone service. Okay, is that adequate for all commissioners? Okay, so I will make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Freyburger will second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. There are none in opposition. So, can you just continue to update us as we get progress on this? And I know this has taken a tremendous amount of time away from your regular duties, and we appreciate it, but I think we need to draw it to a close pretty quick. Okay, thank you. All right, so we are now at the end of our agenda. Is there a need for executive session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. As promotion and roll call vote pursuant to the New Mexico State Statute, Section 10-15-1, the following matters will be discussed in closed session. Personnel matters, threatened and pending litigation, and threatened litigation. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
And I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. This does require a roll call vote. District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? Yes, we are now in executive session. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to have a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
And I'll second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. In executive session, we discussed threatened and pending litigation. At this time, I would like to request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And I'll second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We are now adjourned.